I've got my tripod with me today, as you're going to see here in the video. This is a jungle. This is some of the rougher cutting that we do. Places like this, it's just overgrown. It's just vines and briars and rose bushes and hedge trees and cedar trees and a bunch of walnut mixed in with it. But it's rough cutting. It's extremely dangerous cutting, because when the tree starts to fall, it's almost like you've got nowhere to run. When you start to run, you just get tangled up in vines. So I'm not setting the bipod out too much today. I have a little bit in the videos you'll see. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up with the caps on. I'm going to try to cut a few more. Dad's up here on top of the hill, and I'm kind of working the bottom of it. We're pushing back to the west. Good job, big job of logs. I'll explain more in the videos you see. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out and following along with us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I want to give a big special thank you to Chuck Wygard. Whenever Logger Threads comes out, the new design, you are honestly the first one to pre-order. You're the first one to order. You're continuously ordering Logger Threads apparel, and you know, I don't forget that. I'll never forget that, sir. Thank you so much for that and all you do. The long sleeves, if you guys don't follow the Logger Threads on Instagram or Facebook, the new long sleeves just got released today for pre-order. They'll come out pretty fast because the new wood pullers are here about 15 days early. So they come in today. They should be at home waiting on me, and we'll fill pre-orders tonight and get everything shipped out. Guys, thank you so much. Chuck, thank you very much for all you do for us. It means a lot, sir. And we'll probably see you guys tomorrow. I'd say we'll work all weekend. So like I said, it's a big job of logs here. Pretty good size. I mean, volume-wise, tree count. But like I said, I'll explain the video. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you later. Starting a new job today, kind of, I think. It's we're dropping a skidder off anyway. So it's been raining. It rained yesterday. It's kind of raining off and on this morning. It's kind of trying to break up now. I think we're going to try to cut this. Now, I put a video out Monday, and I'd planned on putting some more videos out this week, but we kind of had a funny deal this week for a track of timber. I actually pulled the machine. I dropped the skidder I've got behind me. I dropped it off on a job, and then I actually went and picked it up yesterday. And the reason why, and I'll go ahead and say this and put it on social media and just be out in the open about it. The people that I was going to cut for, we'd been in talks about this, and it wasn't too far from where I lived. We'd been in talks. I'd actually talked to them about 2 months ago about harvesting their timber. And it was one of those deals that they were very unsure about. I mean, they'd had a harvest done once before 20 years ago. We didn't harvest it then. But they were very unsure about the harvest. And it was one of those deals where I just felt like, you know, down the road, I just felt like after the harvest or during the harvest, there might be some disagreements on the harvest, and even with a contract, there'd be disagreements. So rather than to cause a stir or a problem, I felt it was just in the best interest of both parties for us just not even harvest it. And I would much rather do that. I would much rather walk away from a job than to have any kind of disagreements or problems. It's just, there's none of these trees worth squabbling over. It doesn't matter who they're on or where they're at or what kind they are. They're just, timber is not worth getting in a big headache or a squabble over, especially when you're kind of neighbors. We lived about 1.5 miles apart. So I went and loaded this guy back up last night, and this job here, we're going to unload just right up here. This job right here, there is no telling how many thousands upon thousands upon thousands a board foot of walnut timber my dad has cut off this place. It is just amazing. My dad is the only one. This is a century farm. My dad is the only one to ever log this farm. This will be his 5th time harvesting it, I believe. Speaking of that, there's a couple logs they didn't pick up from the last time Dad did a harvest here. Sure enough. Huh. And the last time Dad cut this, I actually didn't cut it with him. He cut this about 3 years ago, and it's not that they grow back that fast, but he was very selective when he cut 3 years ago. I think he cut like 20,000 feet of walnut off this 3 years ago. And I've cut with him here once, I know of. And now we're getting ready to cut the walnut. We're going to cut some oak this time as well. So, happy to be working, happy to be in the timber. Hopefully we can get a break in the weather. I know they're calling for a lot of rain here in the next few days, so hopefully we can kind of get things going. Had some good news last night. The job of timber we looked at earlier, the last video you seen posted Monday, we got it bought, so we're going to cut that as soon as we get done cutting this job, because really, we're only about, maybe, as the crow flies, 3 miles from that job. We're not too far. It's just on up the river. So we're pretty close to it. So it's good. It's kind of a relief to have a couple jobs close to home. It's always nice to work close to home. So we'll get these knocked out. Hopefully, if the weather will allow us. Then on to the next ones. Let's get unloaded. Great thing about this track of timber right here is, like I said, Dad's cut this. This is the 5th time Dad's logged this. And I know I say this all the time, but I'm extremely, extremely proud, and I like to brag on us a lot about how we manage timber. Because just like right now, granted these trees aren't the biggest in the world what we're cutting. They're really, really good lumber logs. There's going to be some really good shipping logs in here. But the thing about it is we're probably going to cut 150 trees off this little parcel back here. And you know what? Another 5 or 6 years, 7, we'll probably do it again. This is just a really, really good area right through here. A lot of limestone. These walnut grow really well on this limestone through here. We've cut some huge trees out of here in years past. We've actually got some pretty good ones to cut this go around. It's just it's one of those things where we can manage it and come back time and time again. The family's allowed us to do that, and they've worked with us over the years on it. You know, 50 years this has been going on. So it's I think that's pretty cool that we've been able to do that through the generations with the family that owns the farm, and now the generations with us as a logging company. So I'm gonna go up through here, knock a few more of these down. If you noticed, not using a hinge. I do not use a hinge on walnut, will not use a hinge. I'm straight cutting these right here. Dad's over here behind me getting ready to knock one down. A lot of these I bore out. These guys here, some of them I'll bore, a lot of them I won't. We're just gonna straight cut them, flat them, knock them down. We've got a prominent enough lean where I'm not too worried about placement. It's just, some of them we'll use the skidder to push on a little bit if we think there's any trouble with them, but I really didn't see that right through here. It's just an easy cut other than the underbrush. So let's get here and try to knock a few more down.